Yep. Because it represents the lifestyle.
Who did that study, Frank Lutz?
Don't know. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Okay, we're back with 2 more books to close out tonight. And the first one is about a real-life American hero. And that book is called Highest Duty. And it's about the captain of U.S. Airways Flight 1549, Captain Sully Sullenberger. And on January 15th, 2009, they took off. 45 seconds later, the plane hit a flock of geese. And 4 minutes later, the plane was floating on the Hudson River. And with no time to think, only time to react, Captain Sullenberger and his crew took charge of that situation, kept everyone calm, and managed to manage that situation so that everyone was saved.
That's like a 1 in a million landing in the Hudson like that.
You know, pilots train for that all the time, never believing that it's ever going to happen. You know, I happened to be in New York that night.
Were you?
And we were going to see a play, and I was at a restaurant, at a quick fast food pizza restaurant, and we saw this live on the news. We couldn't believe it.
Wow.
You know, people floating in the Hudson River. And it was cold, and it was scary, I'm sure. And an interesting thing is the story of Sully. You know, a man of character throughout his life. And he talks about his ability to react that way because of a decision he made years ago about the type of person he wanted to be. And this is a very, very compelling story about a real-life American hero.
Well, I mean, you look at, he was so he didn't want to be famous. Like, remember how he just kind of hid from the press and everything? And everyone wanted to make him into this, you know, huge star, and he was just like, you know, I just did my job. This is what I trained to do. Because wasn't he a U.S. Wasn't he in the Air Force?
He was a U.S. Air Force pilot, trained in combat. And you want to read a little excerpt from that?
All right, this is part of the book. A pilot can take off and land thousands of times in his life, and so much of it feels like a speeding blur. But almost always there is a particular flight that challenges a pilot or teaches or changes him, and every sensory moment of that experience remains in his head forever. And that's from Sullenberger. You know, we all wonder how we would act in a situation, an emergency situation, and we don't know what we would do. And here's a picture of Sully when he was a little kid, and interested in flying even then. And some great pictures of his family in the book, his mom and his dad. And here he is with his wife, and he really credits his wife with being very supportive through this and the follow-up. And like Megan said, he didn't want to be called a hero. Him and his crew did not want to be called heroes. But they are true American heroes. You know, someone who risked their lives to save the lives of others. So God bless people like Captain Sully Sullenberger. Great book about an American hero. Okay, next up. All right, our last book of the night. The new Jeanette Walls book.
Many of you have read. It was a bestseller.
Half-Broke Horses.
Right. So her first book was The Glass Castle.
The Glass Castle, which was excellent.
I did not read that.
No? You know what? I love biographies because it's not just a story. It's not fictional. It's a real, this is somebody's life, right? And The Glass Castle I absolutely love. And a little background on this author. She actually is a writer for MSNBC. And 20 years ago, she was in Manhattan and she was in a taxi cab. And she looked over and she saw a homeless woman digging in the trash bin. And it turned out to be her mother. And her family was so dysfunctional and eccentric that they couldn't settle in one place. And her whole childhood growing up was moving from one place to another. And her father was like a bad alcoholic. He would disappear for days. He would leave the kids to fend for themselves. And this is the story of her grandmother, her mother's mother.
Right. And the main character in the book is Lily Casey Smith. That's her grandmother. And I never thought that I'd really be moved to read a book about a strong woman. I didn't think that would appeal to me. But when I started to look at this, I couldn't put it down. Lily Casey Smith, at the age of 6, worked with her father to break wild horses.
Right.
At the age of 15, she rode her pony 28 days by herself to a remote town to become a teacher and teach other children at the age of 15.
She's amazing. This woman was amazing. She
More
was
than
like that
amazing.
gritty, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Chopping wood.
Yeah.
She survived tornadoes, drought, floods, the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And through it all, she set the example for her family of how to live. And our author today credits the example set by her grandmother.
Well, it's just it's hard to imagine that somebody can be so dysfunctional and raised in such a dysfunctional environment that they can actually be normal.
Yeah.
You know, well, what we consider normal. But I can't wait to read this.
I couldn't put it down. I was looking at it all weekend. It's a first-person narration.
Mm-hmm.
First-person narrations are tough sometimes, tough to write, and tough to read.
Yeah.
But this is just like somebody, a great storyteller, telling you their life story. The first line caught my attention. Those old cows knew trouble was coming before we did. And I said, what's going to happen? What happens is a horrible tornado. So
Oh, no.
this is a great, great book about a real woman of character.
Yeah.
So we put these two books together because we really have two American heroes here.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
Well, it was our nonfiction week. We have to pick some biographies to put in
That's
there.
right.
I love the bios.
And I love history, I love biography, and that's why we did nonfiction.
Yeah.
Last week did fiction, this week we did nonfiction, and next week we're going to talk about why.
I don't know. They'll have to tune in and see.
Okay, I was going to give it away. It'll be a surprise.
No, don't give it away.
But if you have a book that you want us to talk about on the Bookworm, send us an email. You can email me and Megan at frank@tomsriver.tv. frank@tomsriver.tv. Send us your recommendations. Send us your comments. If you read a book that we suggested and you liked it, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
If you read a book that we suggested and you didn't like it, let us know that too. And remember, every Friday night, Megan and I are in the store. You can stop in and see us in person, and some
Yeah.
people have. And you can tell us what you like about the show or tell us what you don't like about the show. We'll
Yeah.
talk to everyone. But come on in and we'll talk about books. That's what we like to
We
do.
love books.
Okay. All right, let's talk about what else is coming up on tomsriver.tv. Tonight we have the premiere of a brand new show. It's Jersey Shore Scouting Live. We have a special guest on that show, and that'll be on in just a few minutes after we sign off tonight. Tomorrow night, one of my favorite shows on tomsriver.tv, Heather's Decadent Guide to the Jersey Shore. And our girl Heather's out every night partying around town, checking out the clubs, checking out the bands. Last week she had a great local band, End of an Era, on live. And I spoke to her today, a surprise band tomorrow night. So tune in 7 o'clock Wednesday night for Heather's Decadent Guide. Also Saturday morning, in a few weeks, we got a great new show coming up called Spotlight, Business Spotlight.
Oh, cool.
We could put the spotlight on your local Toms River business. Also, our good friend Angelo with The Sure Thing. It's a great show, great characters. Okay, so thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you're interested in some of the books we talked about. I'm Frank,
And I'm Megan.
and we'll see you next week on the Bookworm at tomsriver.tv. Good night.
Night.